Yet, he receives a new skill at this moment. It's a God F rank skill that allows the user to now roll his own dice and get up to 2 charges, and it will recharge once per 24 hours. He is surprised that he can now roll dice. If 2 numbers are the same, the window notifies him to roll the dice again. This time, the previous result accumulates, but critical failure is omitted. He rolls his dice and gets a total of 6. Time stops. He rolls it again and gets a total of 7. Time proceeds and a successful evade happens. He shifts his position and prepares to deliver a left hook to Nerdiel, while simultaneously employing his unique poison in his strike. The beard god becomes enraged at the moderator and questions whether he is manipulating the game. The moderator tells him he wouldn't dare to, and the system is operating normally. Nerguy is stunned, wondering how something like this could happen to him. The goddess didn't expect the game to end like that, so MC kicks him down the cliff. One god becomes enraged at his defeat and departs, while another god inquires as to his whereabouts. The moderator shakes his head, saying, "I'm doomed." Now it's Aerith's turn, but RMC ignores her. "Hey bro, treat her equally, kill her too, don't be soft just because she's a woman." He leaves her alive because there are still monsters there, the babies of the huge spider. Even though her paralysis will wear off after 2 hours, the spiders will shred her into pieces in minutes. Next, we see outside the dungeon a guy tying up another guy. RMC comes out of the dungeon. The man spots RMC and warns his sister about him. MC didn't notice the brother or sister because he was too preoccupied with getting his revenge on his party members. Now all that remains is to defeat the goddess who brought him there, but he has no idea how to defeat a deity. MC believes that the 2 people standing beside the carriage must be abandoned heroes. Abandoned heroes are people who have come from Earth to another world. The 2 of them get ready to offer him a ride if he is heading to the village, but the MC doesn't want to get involved with unknown heroes for no reason, so he leaves from there saying he has something to do nearby, but sister uses her magic on him and tells him to leave everything he has. The dice rolls and the total is 8, a success. He resisted the paralyzed attack that she just used. MC mocks her for using such a low-level skill on him. She becomes enraged and attacks him again with everything she has, but he resisted them all, and thanks to her he acquired a new skill, Bane of Poison. Now he has resistance to 100 types of poisons. She is shocked to see he can use the Great Heal. He then attacks her with his poison attack, hitting her right on her face. She falls on the ground. When she gets up, her disguise wears off and shows that she is actually an elf. She is shocked at how can a human possess such a poison. RMC proceeds to take their carriage and the stolen money they had and continues to leave for the nearest village. The brother and sister become angry, calling out the RMC. Next, the sister has finally detoxified the poison and is ready to deal with the healer, but someone arrives with a spear and they notice that guy is a fallen hero, Dongjun. A fallen hero is someone who kills heroes and takes their points, and this time he is there to take care of the elf. Brother stops him from killing his sister and gets ready to give him the whereabouts of a 7th-year veteran hero, RMC. Dongjun is interested after hearing that because a 7th-year veteran can give him a lot of points. Next, MC is at an inn and has ordered a lot of food. He enjoys his food because he's been eating spiders for 52 days there. He hears some people talking about the plague that's spreading right now. Now he understands why the village looks so gloomy. It's because of the plague. He also notices the titles of the people who are talking about the plague. It's because of his skill. Free from Destiny level 1, can hear the player's voice. Level 2, can view character settings. Total Destiny score 10. He is astonished to see that Destiny score, and another unusual thing appears in his stats that he does not understand. Anyway, he is about to go when an arrow appears out of nowhere. M.C avoids the attack, and there is Dongjun, who is there for the points that RMC has accumulated. MC informs him that he has already used up his points. The crimson tattoo on Dongjun's face also indicates that he is a fallen hero. One tattoo represents 1 kill, and he has a lot of them, implying that he has killed a lot. But MC is going to deprive him of all of his points today, so he begins to battle. MC attacks him with a poison, but Dong notices that and blocks the attack. MC then attacks Dong again, but Dong again blocks that attack as well. Dong is surprised that his opponent is a healer, yet he can also use poison, but there's no point if he can't hit him. MC is also surprised of how strong his spear is and says that it's strange. The MC also realized that Dong is not the true owner of the spear. When Dong began to attack him again, he rolled evasion dice and got a total of 4. When the spear came straight at him, he rolled dice again and got a total of 11, successfully evading the attack. Seeing the opportunity, he then hit Dong with a left hook and injected a special poison. When Dong prepares to attack him again, the dice result in a total of 3 failures, which causes the window to open with the nerve cells being poisoned by a unique poison. Dong is shocked at how he managed to avoid that attack, which was begins to cough up blood furiously till he collapses dead on the floor. Sido gains 647 points for defeating the fallen hero in the second battle, thanks to his dice rerolling ability. This fight also raised his total destiny score from 10 to 13. He thinks it's because he used his reroll skill and thus changed destiny. If his destiny score keeps increasing like this and gets really high, he considers what might happen. He removes the villain's spear from the wall and takes it with him, calling for Lime to jump up on his shoulder when the voices of the gods begin to chatter. He gets a headache when the voices of the gods start chattering, asking the game master when the next dungeon starts. The voices are really starting to get on Sido's nerves. Down below him in the streets he hears noises and so glances down to see what's going on. The sacrament have arrived to deal with the plague that has broken out. Sido had heard they were coming but didn't know it would be so soon, as one explains that they have no choice except to quarantine the town rather than to evacuate it. Allow the plague to spread like wildfire. One god with gray hair begins speaking, wondering if the residents should be evacuated first so that the content is not damaged. Another blonde-haired god sighs, saying that not evacuating the town is the whole point, as there would be no hero story without a crisis or conflict. The game master smiles. The townspeople haven't been evacuated on purpose as a vital feature of this dungeon arc story, just sad. This arc includes saving them. Now the gray-haired god understands. Sido pays close attention. Surprised that this plague is just being used as content amongst the gods, he thinks about how little these gods value human life. Lime jumps off his shoulder and tries to show RMC something. Lime jumps towards a child on the floor who is in bad shape with marks on their skin. It appears they have been infected by the plague. Sido doesn't think twice about touching the child, who is crying out for her mother. Merely by touching her, he has become infected with the disease that leads to the Black Death, and because he is already infected, he decides to help the girl. RMC using his skills to absorb the illness that is within her body. Moments later her body is fine and back to normal. She now has clear skin and full movement. On the other hand, the same can't be said for Sido, who now has the Black Death plague within his body and is vomiting profusely. He is peeled over with marks all over his body. The girl is about to help, but he yells at her not to touch him as he doesn't want her to get infected again. He does not have a high enough rank for it to work on this disease, so he utilizes his Great Heal spell instead. This heal spell provides him with much needed relief. It's been a long time since he's dealt with that level of toxicity, and the little girl believes our main character is some kind of saint or something. He accidentally pulled out his halo due to the amount of toxicity in his body. On the bright side, he has managed to adapt to the Black Death plague. He looks down to the small child who is still referring to him as a saint and tells her it's time she returned home. The child pulls on our main character's garments and asks if he can heal her mother also, because she is also sick. Sido considers what he should do. On the one hand, he does not want to be involved with the sacrament. On the other hand, pretending that nothing is happening and doing nothing does not feel right either. At this time, Sido receives some notifications, one of which is a main objective quest for him to defeat the boss monster with a side quest of rescuing He will receive a reward total of 376 EXP, village residents, and the boss has also been weakened. Sido pays careful attention to the side mission, noting that for each person he saves, he receives 3 points and as a result the boss becomes weaker. He rubs his chin in deep concentration, thinking that if he does well, he will be able to keep all of the points for himself. He takes the child's hand in his and offers to assist her, asking her to direct him to those in need. The child smiles warmly. She is happy that a saint is going to help save her mother and all the others in the village, whereas Sido has a cheeky smile and happy about all the points he is going to get from this. The child's name is Haley and she takes Sido to see her mother who is stuck in bed with the plague. Despite being ill, the mother still scolds Haley for going outside where it is dangerous. Haley tells her mother it's okay because she's brought a saint back with her. The mother wonders what on earth her child is talking about just by looking at her face. Sido immediately approaches and places his hand upon the woman's head, absorbing the black death from her body and into his own. A blue light glows around them as the spell is used. Haley patiently waits at the end of the bed. Before long the mother's skin is clear and her body is better. She looks down at herself with amazement as the black death has completely gone. Like a miracle, she gratefully grabs the hand of Sido, thanking him for what he just did, and asking if he is a member of Sacrament. Not knowing what to say, Sido just says that he is sort of a member. He then turns to the child Haley. The game master instantly sees an intruder in the village who has stolen the side mission and completed it before any of the other gods could sense it. The gray-haired god is fine with this because as long as the people are saved, that's all that mattered to him. However, the blonde guy is furious because he doesn't like the idea of someone stealing the sacrament's content and suggesting they kill him. The game master agrees with the blonde god because an intrusion could disrupt the content, which the gray-haired god does understand and agrees to mobilize his priests to address the crisis. Back in the games, she still does not like the idea of quarantine because if everyone is sealed off, there is a chance they will perish. Even if she has to do it alone, she is willing to go into the village and heal them. The gods and game master boast about this scenario and how interesting it is, getting the perfect setup for a priest hero. If she's going into such a dangerous place to heal the villagers, then Haynes is going to go in with her. She is thankful for his words, not just ignoring her worries about the quarantine but offering to help, which means a lot to her. Meanwhile, Haley is chanting out in the street, calling all the sick villagers to come and get cured one by one. They enter a room where Sido healed them within seconds. He has already rescued a total of 370 villagers out of the 376 which he needs to complete the side quest. This number is going up quick, with Sido rushing everyone along, already curing 3 more villagers in the span of a minute. Next he hears the gods talking about the intruder RMC and how they are close to catching them. He knows they are about to catch him, but it doesn't matter because it's too late as the last villager is being cured, the last one needed for the completion of the side quest. He receives all the reward points and a loud explosion happens in the streets after completing the side quests. The boss has been weakened significantly. It steps out from hiding onto the street in front of Haynes, revealing itself to be a lich with a blue aura and a skull for a head, red eyes, and torn up black clothes. Yes, a stranger just completed the side quest, but the sacrament has more pressing concerns. Haynes instructs the female member Yuna to use her buffs. Yuna obeys his order, casting a heavenly hymn and a divine shield protection spell to safeguard. Haynes charges forward to duel with the boss monster, swinging his sword as the lich reaches its bony arm towards him. Haynes chops the arm right off the lich, then counters by using magic, sending a wave of blue energy in his direction. He panics, but a divine protection spell is casted, protecting him from the boss's spell. She tells him to leave the support to her and focus on attacking. Haynes is a fan of this plan, asking Yuna to protect him again as he goes in for another strike. It's all over for the boss lich, who gets its head and torso sliced off in 2 smooth cuts, earning Haynes 783 points for defeating it. Haynes looks at the lich core and a dark expression develops on his face. Yuna dislikes seeing her friend in this state and wonders why he has suddenly changed his behavior. Yuna tries to snap him out of it. Haynes ignores her words and instead places the lich core inside his mouth. The god responsible for this decision was the usual suspect, the blonde god. The gray-haired god is upset, but Blondie says that he is simply following the story's guidelines according to the scenario. Haynes' true character really has always been a crafty schemer and hypocrite who became a high-ranking member of the Priests' Society out of a desire for power, and has read the tale of the Death Knight and how a lich core can give someone that type power, and thus Haynes to achieve even more control. It's an interesting turn of events for the story that is happening. The gray-haired god is still unhappy with the direction the plot has taken. But the game master believes that given the character's background, swallowing the lich core is a permissible action within the bounds of plausibility. The gray-haired god knows he is the only one that feels this way, as even the game master defending Blondie. He laughs, encouraging the game master to roll the dice so they may see what occurs next. A roll of 2 happens, resulting in a colossal flop. Haynes swallows the lich core, but instead of absorbing its power, he succumbs to its toxicity and loses his life. Yuna rushes over to his aid, wondering what he has done. Haynes turns to look at Yuna, attempting to say her name with his last breaths before collapsing to the floor and dying. The blonde god expresses disappointment, saying she had been planning this move for a while and she thought for sure Haynes would survive. She quickly recovers, saying this is just a game and she can just go and recruit a new hero to play with instead. Meanwhile, Sido is relieved that this is now over as the boss appears to have been defeated. He is thinking about fleeing now because he was listening to everything and can't believe that person was stupid enough to eat the core of the lich. The voices haven't stopped yet, with the game master informing the gray-haired god that the story is still moving along. An ominous sound is heard and the game master explains that the core of the lich has found a new host. Even though Haynes died, he is being resurrected as a lich and the dungeon is opening back up again. Seeing her comrade moving again reminds Yuna of their memories together. However, Yuna knows she can't stop the lich with her power, so she casts a haste spell, allowing her to flee at great speed. While fleeing, she hears the screams of all the villagers begging to be saved. These are the screams of the villagers who had just received treatment and were attempting to return home. It's unfortunate, but the game master encourages the gray-haired god to keep playing. He really doesn't want to though. The haste spell expires, so Yuna casts another, rushing to the aid of a villager who is about to be killed by one of the undead legion. She uses the sacred ground spell to deal with it, but it doesn't completely kill the monster, and her mana is now depleted. The monster recovers and returns to attempting to kill the villager. With no mana, Yuna dashes in front of the monster, blocking its strike with her staff, and vows to do whatever it takes to protect the people. The game master activates a previous concept where he had to deal with a similar problem, setting up another side mission as a result of the appearance of the undead. The side quest is simple: for every villager protected from the undead, a hero will gain 10 points. The game master is certainly not passing up an opportunity to gain our main character's attention and assistance. Sido begins to protect the villagers with his spear, easily dispatching a swarm of the undead. With Lime the Slime riding on his head, he has a smile on his face, eager to take advantage of this double points event. He is observed by Yuna, who wonders who this guy is who everyone keeps calling Saint Sido. He ignores her and focuses his attention on the glowing red lich boss. Yuna tries to tell him that the Priest Society's troops would undoubtedly arrive soon, so he and have to charge in. Sido doesn't care, running straight forward and into the conflict. The monsters claw at him, and once close enough to the boss, he casts his Great Heal spell. This single spell clears the entire dungeon, killing the boss and earning nearly 3,000 points. Even the gods are impressed, wondering who could have rejected such a magnificent hero now that he has accumulated all of the points here. The troops of the Priest Society arrive and block his exit. A man named Pierre calls him a swindler who has dared to step into this village and impersonate a saint. Yuna tries to explain to Pierre that Sido is a good guy who helped defeat the boss, but Pierre doesn't believe her. The crime of impersonating a saint is just too great for Pierre to let slide. Not only has Haynes been killed, but if Sido can't explain what happened properly, Pierre threatens to arrest him. The villagers speak up, ordering the Priest Society not to harm the saint who saved them. It is revealed that the elf Kona and her brother Jang Man are also among the villagers. They came here hoping for vengeance, but they think now might not be the best time. Sido bluntly lies through his teeth, saying he is a secret inspector sent here directly from the holy priest. Pierre immediately dismisses this claim, claiming that there is no evidence as that the holy priest has not arrived nor any information regarding a secret inspector. While using his powers, Sido activates his powers and shows the halo on his head, attempting to use it as evidence to prove he is telling the truth. More villagers fall to their knees, understanding that he truly is a saint. Sido activates his poison powers, rolling a 7 and successfully using special poison. He targets this poison at the siblings who followed him all the way here wanting for revenge. They fall to the floor, and Sido informs Pierre that these are the ones he should be arresting: the elf Akora, who is vicious bandit, and the man standing next to her brother. Sido claims he was just trying to track down the criminals and ended up in this village where he decided to do a good deed and help the villagers. He apologizes for overstepping his boundaries, and Pierre forgives him, insisting that he is the one who should be sorry for treating a secret inspector so rudely. Sido then claims that Haynes died honorably while assisting in the defeat of the Lich leader who was attacking them. Yuna realizes this isn't true and is about to say something, but Sido discreetly talks with her by telekinesis. It is best to lie about what happened to Haynes in this manner to protect the Covenant's honor, or else the people will lose trust in it. Yuna keeps her quiet, and Sido bids his goodbyes, explaining that he has another duty to attend to. For the gray-haired god and the game master, they both know that everything just stated was a lie, that there is no such thing as a secret inspector, and that Haynes perished from swallowing the Lich core. What a fascinating story. The villagers all clap for our main character, and as he walks away, he considers how assisting others isn't always a bad thing. After some traveling, Sido arrives in the city of Flat Peace Alchemy, expecting to sleep in a luxurious bed tonight. He finds an alchemy shop and goes inside, intending to sell some stuff when the man behind the counter asks what he's selling. Sido explains that he has some antibodies that can be adapted to create poisons. The guy was expecting magical artifacts or materials, but is willing to take a look using a mono killer. He can tell that the antibodies are unique, with all of them coming from unfamiliar poisons. The guy advises Sido to try and sell it in the workshop next door, which specializes in poisons like this. Sido follows the man's advice and goes to the next house over, opening the door and crying out to whoever is home. There is no answer, and it is dark. When Sido considers using his halo to light up the room, Lime the slime uses its own halo ability, something Sido had no clue it could perform at the time. Sido hears a goddess chuckling and speaking straight to him, commenting on how weird that slime is. Sido pretends he didn't hear her and attempts to leave the building, but the goddess has been watching him closely and can tell he can hear their voice. She threatens him that if he leaves the building, she will reveal his secret to all of the other gods. Sido believes his cover has been revealed, and the goddess chuckles and insists once more that she did not come here to make trouble. Sido turns around, curious as to who else knows about his secret besides her. The goddess explains that only she knows, and that if he listens to what she has to say, she will keep his secret. She reveals that she wants our main character as her hero, asking him to make a contract with her, an offer which Sido rejects because his previous goddess, who summoned him to this world, abandoned him like trash. He doesn't need anyone's help and doesn't understand why the gods play such a game anyway. Goddess says they play the game for fun. The stories of the heroes become their mythology and give them strength. She thinks it would be a lot of fun to have our main character as her hero. It's expected. The gods are a selfish bunch. Sido storms out and declines the offer, but before he departs, the goddess captures his attention, stating that she can provide more information on the blonde goddess he is looking for, the one who summoned him here and abandoned him, the one on whom he wishes to exact revenge. Thanks for your support. Please show your support by hitting the like button and commenting the word saint. Also, please consider subscribing so you don't miss the next video.